Hi, you got me early. I'm early today. Don't tell anybody. Shh. They're not in here yet. You can pick my brain without anyone else. Unmute yourself and we can chat.
Perfect timing, Tommy. Thank you, Patty. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I have a couple of quick questions. I'm going to put together the lease for the tenant moving into the single family house. And I did it exactly what you did. I had them notarize everything, and they sent me the wired the money. So I had 7,500 sitting there. So I'm meeting with her next week. So thank you for all of that. And then I took your advice and got them to come out and I got a letter from exterminator that there's no bed bugs, there's nothing going on. So I have that. And then so I want to put together the lease, and I want you to just look through it and just make sure that I've got everything there. And then I looked up the LARSO, the interest rate for security deposits, because that's due. Is it due by December 31st?
Yeah.
Okay. So I calculated that out. Last year it was 0.6%. This year it's 3%. So I just send them a check, correct? Do I send any paperwork with it or just a check?
Know that this is their payment for LARSO deposit.
Interest.
Yep.
Okay. And they have to be there a year. So the tenant that moved in last year that isn't there till January for a year, I don't owe. Is that correct? They have to be there a year, is my understanding.
Correct.
Okay. All righty. So
let other people, unless you need me for something else.
I'm sorry.
Got a list of people that are trying to get on here. So
okay. Sorry, that's it. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Okay, thanks.
I just wanted. Well, I'm going to let more people in. They're going to see you. So
okay. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Let's get them. Hello, everybody. Hello. Happy Wednesday. I'm early this time. I'm never early. I'm early. It never happens. And I'm sitting in a chair that's too short for me. So I know I look like I'm at the bottom of the screen today. Sorry about that. I'm much taller in person for those of you that have met me before. Not. And my hair was really cute today, but the rain did a number on as I walked out the door. What do we got? I hear people.
Did you receive a box today from us?
Yet, but I haven't been home. So as soon as I get home, I'm sure I'll have a package there. Thank you for that. Anybody have anything else? Because I got something I want to talk to you guys about. Oh, I hate it when I show a piece of paper because you guys can't see it. Look at that. You can't see it. Okay, so let me tell you. Maybe I should wait for more people to get in here before I open my big mouth and stick half my foot in it, because it's enough to make my sisters sick to their stomach. Yeah, it's enough to make my sisters sick to their stomach. So you guys know how LARSO spread like cancer to all the unincorporated cities in LA County back in July, and we had to register our units by September 30th. On Friday, a 59-page memorandum came out from the county regarding the new LARSO rules for the unincorporated cities in the county. Remember I told you guys, watch out, because under the city of LA, we have to serve that certificate. When we serve a notice, we have to have that certificate before we can do 59 pages of new rules just came out for the unincorporated cities in LA County. 59 pages. Pages 16 through 21 talk about how far behind the tenant has to be in rent before you can serve a notice. From what I'm understanding, and this is enough to make me vomit, and this is how I'm spending my weekend, making a cheat sheet for 59 pages of this new bureaucracy and bullshit. And yes, I said that. From what I'm understanding, and mind you, I will rewrite this in simple English and then I go ask an attorney my questions. But between the pages of 16 to 21 that talks about how far behind you have to be in rent before you can serve a notice, what I got out of that is, and I need to go ask an attorney to verify, what I got out of it was, in order to serve a 3-day notice under the new LARSO through the county, the DCBA part, and I'm letting people in, the tenant is going to have to be behind at least 1 month in market value rent. So if you, the landlord, haven't raised your rents and your rent's only $600, and I'm letting people in, so bear with me. I know I'm all over the place poking at buttons. If your rent is only $600 and market rent is $3,700, you're gonna have to wait until they're that delinquent before you're gonna be able to serve the notice. So they don't want us to charge market rents, but we're not gonna be able to serve a 3-day unless they're behind what market value is. I see one of my sisters just shaking her head back and forth because she's pissed. Steam is coming out of her ears, okay? She's getting mad. I'm sure you guys can imagine how this affects the little guy that doesn't raise rent, that's trying to be nice to their tenant, that is just trying to get by. We need to organize, hang on. I love you guys in your comments. We need to organize. This is going too far. Well, I think somebody tried to do that at Mr. Pelosi's house and it didn't go so well. Sorry, I'll be quiet. I know that was off color and off canter. I shouldn't say things like that. I know. 59 pages is how I'm spending my weekend, making you guys a cheat sheet on what this actually means in simple English. And I know you can't see the papers, but it's insane. Like I said, pages 16 through 21 of the new ordinance explains about delinquency and rent and how they have to be delinquent before you can serve a 3-day notice. You're going to have your certificate so that you can serve a notice. It's going to function just like the city of Los Angeles's RSO. I kind of knew it was going to happen, kind of thought it was going to happen. It didn't look so bad until people registered. And then whammo, here comes all the rules. Here comes all the bureaucracy. Okay, so if you're in the county of Los Angeles, in the unincorporated areas, things just got real quick. I don't know a nice way to say it, but I'll say it. LA City's rent control ordinance has spread like cancer and infected every unincorporated city within the county. Next Wednesday, we'll have an update from Widget explaining in depth what this means for us, but it's not pretty, you guys. It doesn't look good. It sucks. They revised it on October 27th. I don't like it. It sucks. It really does. It sucks. So I'll give you a better update next Wednesday. Like I said, I have 59 pages to depict and rewrite in simple English. And then I already know I'm going to have questions for an attorney. They don't want us charging market rent because they don't think it's fair to tenants, but we're not going to be able to serve a 3-day unless they're market rent behind. Yeah. If
Who evaluates the market price? Is it just like a Zillow or?
Zillow, yeah. How would they determine what that is without running a current market analysis? You're going to have to run a CMA to serve a notice. I mean, it just is so ludicrous to me what I'm reading. I'm dumbfounded, have no words. And I've already went to the attorney 4 times and the attorney said, look, Patty, I'm not playing this game with you. I already know how you work. You give me a list of all of your questions and we'll sit down and brainstorm. So that's where I am. And I'm getting a list of questions because like I'm telling you guys, pages 16 through 21 are bullshit. Bullshit. If anyone has a property in the unincorporated areas of LA County and are looking to sell, I'd be more than happy to turn you on to a sales agent that can help you. God. Ah. I got no words. I got nothing. I'm not loving it at all. All right. So let's get into your guys' head and out of mine because mine's pretty depressing today. We got more people coming in. Anybody have questions for me? The things we really want to know, what's going on? So here's what I can tell you, okay? Hold on, I got a long message from Geraldo. We need to organize. It is going too far. I started my eviction case yesterday. The fast evict email says it's possible the tenant will try to hold my property hostage in order to get a huge settlement agreement. I cannot afford to pay him out. I'd rather he stays as long as he pays all the back rent. Is this a possibility? Absolutely. You can always negotiate a pay and stay. So you'd be shocked what you can do in a courtroom. Okay. Have a property in LA. Tenants holding hostage, can't do anything. I can't do nothing. No joke. I even put them in eviction and spent the money to put them in eviction court to see if we could come to a settlement agreement in eviction court. And they asked for a trial by jury. So prior to going to trial by jury, there's a mandatory settlement conference, okay? Where before they start doing everything for jury, I'm in the city and it sucks. I'm in the city in this one and it's an inherited property, so it's paid for, so I'm not bleeding money, okay? But this one really sucks. It bites. And okay, folks, I was not injured. Sorry. It sounded horrible though, because of course I had to react with my scream of we're falling over. I'm okay, I'm uninjured. Now I've totally forgot what we were talking about. So please somebody remind me. Actually, I can go back and look at my chat and reel back in. Got all
You're
the
talking about your property you inherited.
mandatory settlement conference. So now we got to go see if we can come to a settlement agreement before it goes to jury trial. Do you know that she got the rent control relief money in the amount of about $84,000? She wanted $60,000 to move. The average price in the city of LA is between 40 and 60 grand, just so you guys know. If you go that route. And we're not in control. We don't get to determine which way it's gonna go. So I'm sorry, I don't have my regular tripod and my little one that I tried to rinky dink to get today is falling over. So I apologize, I am human. She wanted $60,000 in relos. So my response was, you already got 84,000. Why don't you give me back 24,000? Get out and we'll call it even. No, I want $60,000 additional. So I proceeded to tell the judge, I'm sorry, we can't come to a settlement agreement. She's holding my house hostage against me and you're enabling it. Case dismissed. And she still sits there. So in case you weren't paying attention, let me tell you what happened 2 weeks ago on a Friday. A federal court judge ruled LA County's moratorium as being unconstitutional. Winning. So it will end on December 1st unless they file an injunction. If they file an injunction, they have to do it on or before November 28th. So on November 30th, Wednesday with Widget, we will have an update to let you know if the moratorium for LA County, not the city, will be ending on December 1st. Yee! I got all kinds of questions. Like, if it's deemed unconstitutional, then how can a court uphold those rules? when we get to eviction. Paying attention? Right on the nose. This is making sense. In the event that it does end on December 1st, I have no doubt there will be a plethora of evictions, a tidal wave, an inundation, if you will, of people that understand they're finally getting their teeth back and they can do something about it. So if you have someone that is non-payment of rent in LA County now, serve the notice. If they don't self-certify, start the process, because you want to be in front of that tidal wave, not in the middle of it. Paying attention? So if your tenant owes November rent, serve the notice now, wait, and then file right before. Okay? All I'm trying to say is avoid that tidal wave, because you know it's going to be there. We're already feeling it. I'm in the city of LA. When I served my tenant, he said he would claim COVID. That's what I'm trying to tell you, is starting December 1st, there is no COVID. So if you serve them now and they don't self-certify in those 7 days, guess what? You're ready to start the process now. You don't have to wait. You only have to wait if they self-certify. If they don't self-certify, you don't have to wait. Go, run, start the car. It's time. We just don't want to be in the midst of the tidal wave. In front of the tidal wave, I'm fine with, but just try to avoid the storm. The car is started. The engine's running. I think that's why I'm so animated and so vocal over some of these things, is I too am feeling that financial stress from our government because of the protections they've allowed tenants. I feel it, trust me. Okay, I saw some more questions come in. I'm gonna try to get to them, and please forgive me, you guys. Again, I don't have my right tripod. I left it in my other car. What's the max application fee we can charge? It's $52 and change. So I wouldn't go more than 50 bucks, okay? And thank you for asking G Jones the correct verbiage in the question. I love you for that. So he's also, this is also a tip for me to let me know to educate you guys. So the max application fee you can charge a prospective tenant that doesn't have a credit report. What is that all about? We'll talk about that in a second. What's the standard or average fee charged? Standard charge right now is $40. $50 is the max that I would ask for. I believe it's $52 and some change. I have it written down. I just don't have it memorized in my head. It changes annually when the CPI changes, just so you all know what exactly we're talking about. Okay, on another note, October 1st, new law, Gavin Newsom, God love him. And remember, folks, please, I heard that he is running for presidential candidate in 2024. He's done a number on our state. Please don't let him get a hold of our nation. I'll leave my comment at that. Tenants, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that question. Applicants now applying to rent your property, when screening, if they provide you with a copy of their own credit report, there can be no screening expense to the tenant. For those of you getting this information for the very first time, please do not panic, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Think of it this way. For decades, we've been able to pass the expense of running credit onto the consumer in landlord-tenant transactions. We can't do that anymore. If you buy a house, they don't charge you up front to run credit. If you buy a car, they don't charge you up front to run credit. So basically, they're telling us we can't charge them up front to run credit anymore. Okay, we've been able to pass those expenses on to the tenants for several decades. Now we can't if they provide us their own credit report. But wait, I hear you guys all saying, but Patty, they're going to print their credit report out of Photoshop. It's okay to smile and say thank you and pre-screen them to the best of your ability. Make sure they're income qualified, make sure that they have all their ducks in a row paperwork wise. Once that happens, you then can run credit at your own expense and then compare the reports and call them an LLPOF if needed. Got it? Everybody understand that? If the tenant says, here's my credit report, there can be no expense to them. People tell me, oh, but we run background checks, so we charge them for that. And we have an admin fee. No, you didn't read the law. If they provide you with their own credit report, there can be no expense to the applicant. Zero. Got it? Okay, don't mess that one up. Hang on, I saw something else come through. It is not optional for you to use their report. Okay, you have to use their report. Let me say this differently. You have to accept their credit report and you can run your own at your own expense. There can be no expense to the tenant is what boils that down to, what that boils down to. I can speak English, I promise. But all that is we've been able to pass those expenses on to them. As soon as they get wind of this, you guys, get ready because they're going to be providing their own credit reports. So watch out for that. Be mindful is all I'm saying. Okay. And the other one that we got from lovely Gavin Newsom is if a tenant doesn't make more than $42 an hour starting September 1st of next year, we're not going to be able to get a wage garnishment against them. They're still trying to challenge this new bill quite extensively because it takes away all the recourse for us as landlords. Here comes all the, oh, Patty, we want to kill you. Oh, wait, hang on. Before I answer more questions, let people in. We got people coming in. And I saw something, hang on, here we go. But there is more research that can be done in addition to the credit report. Can you charge for that? No. If they provide you with their own credit report during the screening process, there can be no expense to the tenant. So you can't charge them for a criminal background or your admin fee or your this check or your that check. There can be no expense to the tenant, to the applicant. No garnishment for any rent or just COVID rent. No, it's a new wage garnishment law. Okay, so the new wage garnishment law currently reads that if the tenant does not make $42 an hour or more, you cannot get a wage garnishment in place. That is how it reads currently. We have until September to try to repeal it and address it, and we are diligently trying to do that now. So before it is implemented on September 1st, I have no doubt there will be modifications to it. What is LLPOF? Okay, hold on. I'm skipping you, Tony, just for a second. J Tour, what is LLPOF? Liar, liar, pants on fire. So basically you can take their credit report, okay, their credit report and compare it with the one you ran. And if they bought it off of Amazon or did something funky, and this is me talking to you, and it doesn't match, then they provided you falsified information and it's a reason for you to deny them. Paying attention? Don't overthink this, okay? Pre-screen them to the best of your ability. If they meet your criteria on paper, then spend the money to run your own credit report. And then compare it with the one they gave you. And if they are an LLPOF, liar, liar, pants on fire, you can deny them based on them providing fraudulent information. Okay? And then let's go back and see what Tony said. She got info. She always has the best info. Tony, today, November 9th at 3 p.m., the City of Los Angeles Housing Committee will be reviewing 3 draft ordinances ending the city's eviction moratorium on January 31st of 2023 with exceptions. 2, ending the city's rent increase freeze on January 31st of 2024. And 3, imposing the city's rent stabilization ordinance, RSO, just cause and relocation fee requirements on non-RSO rental units, and citywide instituting new notice requirements for the filing of the copies of tenancy termination notices with the city's housing department. To listen to this meeting, the audio broadcast live on the internet right there can be heard, and you can call in and listen to it also. Thank you so much, Tony, for giving us this information. This is awesome. I thank you guys for every little tidbit that you guys have to help all the rest of us that are dealing with these issues. So thank you for that. If you guys want to pay attention, make sure you get the link. I'm actually going to screenshot it really quick, just so I have it also. And they're doing this today at 3 p.m. So we definitely want to be all into that, okay? Screenshot. Okay, sorry. Does anybody else have anything for me for today? So we have issues going on right now with us not having any recourse on wage garnishments, because let's face it, if we can't get a wage garnishment, why would we rent our property? There's no recourse for us. So it's going to get a little interesting here in a very rapid fashion. So we'll see how that plays out. I know they're already attacking the bill, saying it's unconstitutional for landlords, which I agree. There's no recourse now. Why would we rent our houses if we can't go after the money at a later date? There's no penalty for default. Make sense? Okay, hang on, because I see more questions coming up. How do I react when the tenant threatens to sue for code violations? Do you have any code violations? Because if you don't have any code violations and they're actually not an issue, then hit it head on. Call code enforcement and turn me in. I'd be more than happy to address the issue and bring that current as well. Oh, I don't ever, how do I say this to you? I like it when a tenant challenges me and says that they're going to do something different to me. Okay? Because I just look at them, what this look like. Why would you challenge me? You don't have a place to lay your head every night. I do. I mean, let them challenge you. And here's the nicest thing that I can say to you that'll help you not fear that. Okay? Hold on, I'm going backwards. Geraldo, if your tenant threatens you with a lawsuit, I want you to smile and say, okay, you take whatever action you seem necessary. You know why? You have an insurance company that you pay every month to protect you, right? Don't fear a lawsuit. If you guys get served with a lawsuit, you know what the very first thing you do is? Call your insurance company. That's who you pay to protect you every month. If they won't take the lawsuit on, then you call a legal attorney to help you. Okay, but that's what your insurance company's for. And one of my sisters is on here. I saw her, but I know she's a big advocate on this. You guys go back to your insurance carriers, tell them that you had a conversation with your legal counsel and you want to make sure your policy is up to date. In other words, you don't tell them anything's wrong at the property. Okay. You want bingo, Geraldo. You want unlawful eviction coverage and loss of rent coverage. You want it on your policy. Trust me. Unlawful eviction and loss of rent coverage. Okay, those are two big things. wrongful eviction is only $2,000 with Mercury, but they only pay $2,000, but they'll represent you. And that's what you're after. You want the free legal that comes with that. Are we still in a state of emergency where we can't increase rents by more than 10%? I believe so until the end of this month. And then we'll probably have a fire, a flood, a drought, a storm, a something that'll stop it. It seems like we're always in a state of emergency. South Pasadena, sixplex. Can we raise rent now 10%? No, not until the county's moratorium's over. I gotta look and see if South Pasadena is incorporated or unincorporated. If it's unincorporated, you fall under the county's guidelines. So I gotta do more research now. I can't answer those so quickly off the top of my head. So South Pasadena, sixplex, can we raise rent now? It would be 10% if you could do an increase. I need to see if Pasadena's ordinance went through. All these little municipalities, you guys, are starting their own ordinances and their own rent control rules. So we need to really start paying attention on what's going on in these cities because they're coming up with their own rent control. If they're not governed by rent control, and I'll give you an example. Who is it? Is it Baldwin Park? No, it's not Baldwin Park. Maybe it is Baldwin Park. There's a lot of individual cities that have their own rent control ordinance. And I want to say maybe it's Baldwin Park. I have to look it up. I have a cheat sheet on it because when you go Google their city, the first thing that comes up is the state rule, you know, the CPI plus 5%. And then the next thing that comes up is it's the cities, it's the state law, the county law. The very last thing on their page is stating that the city has their own ordinance that you can't increase rents more than 3% annually. So that's what I mean of that's what we need to watch out for. I have no doubt that Pasadena will probably do the same things. How many days, including weekends, to fix or do I'm assuming that should say, do you have to fix habitability issues and do not have to charge rent for those days, or do you have to fix? I'm going to teach you how to dance around a problem. Okay. Once you are notified of a habitability issue, rent is not owed until it is corrected. Okay. If they call you on a Friday night after 5 o'clock, as you're walking out the door at 5:13 to let you know they have no heat. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'll let someone know I do have until next business day to respond. It's not necessarily entirely true because technically they don't owe rent until it's corrected. However, they can't call you 5 minutes to 5 on a Friday and tell you about something that's broken and expect you to stop your weekend and run right out there and fix it. You have to have the opportunity. So next business day is what I usually tell them, but I always give them the rent credit. Does that make sense? So in other words, it gets them off my back. If it's a huge problem, I immediately address it. But a habitability issue, they don't owe rent. If you fix it same day, then there's no credit owed to them. That would be the best way that I could describe it to you. Okay. And please remember that if you are in, and I'm just going to call it LARSO because that's what it is now, but it's DCBA LARSO for the county and incorporated areas. There's a specific per diem amount per day, no matter how much your rent is. That's $207 per day, plus $66 for each adult in the household, plus $33 for each child 12 and under for the household per day that they are having habitability issues or removed from their property. Per day. no matter how much you rent it. Okay, I saw more questions come in. Hang on. Is Anna on here? I'm just asking. I haven't seen Anna yet. Gardena again, vacant unit. Owner would like to increase rent more than 10% from prior tenant given repairs and market rents, but I'm hesitant to advise on doing so. Any suggestions? Market rent is $200 more. There's my little Miss Anna. I got your, this is not a bomb box, and I laughed so hard I peed my pants. I laughed so hard I peed my pants. No joke. I'll explain in just a second, you guys, because you're like, wait, what, Patty? I'm going to make this real simple for you. If you've done major renovations to the property, then the attorney would argue for you that your increase warranted it, the over 10%. So if you have a vacant unit, don't fear it so badly. Got it? I hope that made sense and clicked. So I went to a trade show again, and I got a lovely little package from one of our members. Thank you. And I have this thing about taking food and gifts from tenants, property manager for 30 years. Everybody's a tenant. So at a trade show once, she brought me a package, and it was funny because my son was at that trade show with me, and we sniffed it and we listened to it and we shook it, and we were very concerned about it until I got home, opened the card and saw that it was from one of my Widget's Way followers. And then I giggled a little bit and we laughed about it. And we still laugh about it, that we thought it was a bomb. Okay. Well, she showed up at the last trade show. We had a nice little conversation. She gave me a package, very nicely decorated, wrapped perfectly. And there was nothing that made me think it was a bomb because I talked to her. Everything was fine until I got home that night, was eating my dinner, and I figured I'd open it up. I was home alone. Nobody was there yet. I should have went to the bathroom first, because as soon as I opened the box, she wrote on the box really big, "This is not a bomb." And it just made me laugh so hard because I didn't have the feeling that it was one, but that kind of initiated it, and it made me laugh so hard. So thank you for that. I appreciate all of you. And yes, I did. We will enjoy that on Thanksgiving. Thank you. My entire family thinks it's hilarious that I get so freaked out type of thing. And we're excited to partake in it over the Thanksgiving holiday. So thank you. And yes, I laughed so hard I peed my pants. I was on the phone with one of my friends and they're like, "What's so funny?" And I'm like, "You have no idea." Okay, and I don't know a nice way to say this, so I'm just going to blurt it out there. Be ready for January 1st, you guys. I have, oh, thank you. I have, this is Patty's Blonde Brain. And forgive me, you guys, because I think I told you, watch out for this DCBA thing, because in LA City, they make you provide your certificate when you serve a notice. I have no doubt that over time they'll implement that. It didn't take them long. It didn't take them long at all, folks. As soon as you guys all signed up at the end of September to do this, here we are in November, and we're getting, I mean, it hasn't even been 60 days. And they're changing the rules on us. I knew it would happen. I knew it would happen. I'm sorry. Okay. Usually when new laws come out on the 1st of January, they're hit and miss. Okay. Example, one year we'll get 22 new laws. The next year we'll get 2. The next year we'll get 35. The next year we'll get 4. We're on a heavy year, folks, not a light one. I'm trying to warn you. Okay. So we are on a heavy year for law changes. If that happens, I'll let you know, but I just want you to be aware so that if all of a sudden January 1st comes and I'm like, here we go, you guys, we got 15 new laws. You're not going, wait, what, Patty? I'm warning you now. This could be a high year for new law changes starting January 1. That's all. Be aware. I'm just trying to tell you. All right, anybody have anything else for me today? So we know that the county has unincorporated DCBA. I guess we'll just call it the DCBA from now on. I don't know what else to call it. They have new rules. It's 59 pages. Pages 16 through 21 talk about how far behind in rent they have to be before you can even serve a notice. I'm going to be doing a lot of research over this new ordinance this weekend, and Wednesday we will be doing a whole little mini class on what that means for us. Please say something more on unlawful eviction insurance. Is this part of a standard insurance policy? One of my sisters may be on here, and if she is, she may know a little bit more than I do. It's not necessarily standard on your insurance policy. And it's called unlawful eviction coverage. And that's, you want to be covered for that. So that if anybody says that you unlawfully evicted them, or you did, at least you got some kind of insurance coverage to help you. You know what I mean? We need all the help we can get because our government is setting us up for failure. And I don't hear my sister yet. But I'll get something from her. Call your agent and ask them if they have that for unlawful eviction coverage. Take it, $60 a year. I gotta be careful what I say, so I'm not advising you, but for $60 a year, Geraldo, get the insurance coverage. No joke. Okay? It's worth every penny because I don't know. I don't want to say this to you guys. If you did an eviction and it wasn't lawful, your insurance company might then protect you based on your insurance coverage. Make sense? Let me give you an example. Let's say your tenant got arrested and went to jail. And while they were in jail, you posted a 3-day notice. They didn't answer. You posted a notice of abandonment, took possession of the property because they were gone. And then they sued you for an unlawful eviction because you didn't go through the court process or whatever it be. Then your insurance coverage may protect you. Loss of rents, Arlene, loss of rents. Let me give you an example. Had a property, still have it actually, it was my mom's house. She made it a rental. Okay. Tenants were a jerk. I told my mom, do not rent to these people. They are nothing but trouble. And my mom said, look, your dad just died. I don't want to deal with this. Put him in the house. Okay, Mom, but I don't want any part of it anymore because I would not rent these people a storage unit. But what do I know? I'm just a property manager, right? So, okay, Mom, they're your problem now. Here you go. So they lived there for about 16 months. And I came home from work one day and my mom was sitting at the kitchen table shaking. She was so mad. And I looked at her and I said, hey, Mom, what's up? She goes, I want you to go bitch on my tenants. She was not having it. So I went there, we evicted them. The property was destroyed. The police actually found an incendiary device in the garage. They did quite a bit of damage. We filed an insurance claim. We had loss of rent coverage. From the time I reported it to the time that they finished the work was 6 months, almost 7 months. Okay. For that time period, they paid my loss of rents. Paying attention? So I was able to pay the mortgage. Paying attention? See how that worked? Okay. All right. Hope we're all paying attention. Everybody got that one and it clicked. The other coverage is loss of rents. How much? My premium didn't go up at all. It was the first thing that I filed on the property. So it was the first time I ever filed anything and they didn't make my premium go up. I saw something about a tree falling. Here we go. Roadrunner, my girls. We have a tree that fell on a tenant work van and broke the side mirror off. Are the owners responsible for fixing this vehicle? Only if the tree was on their property when it fell. The answer is yes. I hope that makes sense. And it would probably be a claim against the owner's homeowner's insurance versus the tenant's auto insurance. Make sense? What can you do when a tenant moves and doesn't give you a forwarding address and then denies living at the address you've discovered? You can contact Fast Evict and see if they'll run a skip trace on them, Andrea. Which
And
I
they deny living there. They
will skip trace them again. Just send me the, I'll look up the info once I get the package.
Great.
Also, can you help us with unlawful eviction coverage on our insurance? I know that's something that you looked into.
Actually, my sister Erica is the main boss here and she's not here at the moment. So that's why I didn't respond. So I really don't know.
I understand. They share landlord duties. One does one thing, the other does the other thing. So it works perfect for them, but not a, thank you. How much did my premium went? It didn't go up at all. It was, and the owners don't want to pay. They have to. They said it was an act of God. God didn't knock that tree over, the wind did. And that's why they have insurances to cover acts of God. And if they're not careful, they're going to get their ass handed to them. You're right. It is an act of God, but the tree fell from their property onto something else. So it is their responsibility. Here, let's go deep into real estate law, okay? It's the owner's fault because that tree was a fixture to the property, just like the house is a fixture to the property. And if the house would have blown over and fell on the tenant and killed him, guess what? It would have been the landlord's fault too, okay? Think of it as real property. Trees are real property. They're attached to the land. Okay, can they be detached from the land? Yes, but then they become personal property. So any way you look at it, either the real property or the personal property fell on the tenant's truck and destroyed it, and the landlord is responsible. Okay. Will Fast Evict do a skip trace on a handyman that disappeared with my money? Most likely, yes. Does that loss of rent include loss of rent due to COVID protective period? No. I'll tell you right now, insurance companies don't cover COVID at all. So I knew a guy that sold insurance policies, and what he sold was like a different kind of a policy that in the event that they had to do an eviction, it was an eviction coverage insurance. And in the event that they had to do an eviction, the insurance would pay so much money towards legal fees and so much money towards reload fees and so much money towards this and so much money towards that. The company bellied up when COVID hit. No joke. Because they didn't have a provision about disease not being covered in their bylaws, if you will, or their disclosures. So what they did was refunded policy money and cancel policies to get out of it, but nothing's covered by COVID or illness, okay? Okay, hang on. What happens if the tree was on the neighbor's side and a branch falls on the vehicle in the rental property? Whose tree was it is who's responsible. Got it? the landlord whose tree it was is who's responsible. Okay, so it could be from a neighboring property, absolutely. And then it's the neighboring property that needs to pay. And you want to make it really easy? Just have the tenant's insurance company deal with it, because they'll go after the landlord, trust me. If Larso tenant rents a garage as a separate charge, they currently have 2 garages, 2 bedrooms. Can I just rent them on a month to month? So if a new tenant in 1 bedroom wants a garage, they can have a garage? If they're on a separate contract and it's not a rental agreement and it's a license, you may be able to, yes. Thank you, Anna. It's in Larso, so it gets a little tricky. They may want a dog, so I can do a new lease and only include 1 garage, correct? If they're only, you can't do a deduction in services, so you can let them know that they're only getting 1 garage and they have to consolidate. That might work. Okay. Brainstorming, it's what we do together, folks. We'll figure it out together. Anybody have anything else? Run over that garage question again, please. Okay. Hold on. It's a garage in Larso. The tenant rents a garage as a separate charge. They currently have 2 garages and 2 bedrooms. Can I just rent to them on a month to month? So if a new tenant in 1 bedroom wants a garage, they can have a garage. Larso, I believe, requires a 1-year contract for them always to be under contract. And honestly, I wouldn't put a garage on a residential dwelling contract anyway. I would give them a totally separate agreement so that it doesn't fall under landlord-tenant law. And I think that's what you're doing because you mentioned that it's a separate charge. So if it's a separate charge and a separate agreement, you have different terms, and I need to see those terms to be able to answer your question better regarding the garage. Thank you, Arlene. I try, you guys. It's hard with all these ever-changing laws, though, I will tell you that. Part of me wants to go, you can do this, but never mind. I gotta go back and say, let me look at the new rules, the new ordinance, the new moratorium, it's always something. 59 pages this weekend to tell you guys in LA, you probably can't do anything anymore. And it's gonna be just like the city of LA. You watch. Can you charge separate rent for pets? For example, $3,000 no pets, $3,100 with a pet. You can say that you have a $100 pet fee, but we need to talk about what city this is in. If this is allowed, you can have pet rent, so a monthly pet rent. But please understand, when you start asking for additional pet rents, you're bringing yourself additional problems. David, the rent increase allowed in LA City isn't until 2024. Right now I can hear you screaming, David. I'm sorry. 2024 is when you can do an increase in the city of LA. And this is why we're attacking their moratorium. And this is why that meeting at 3:00 is happening today, because they're trying to extend no rent increases till January 1st of 2024 in the city of LA. Thank you, Tony. I love you. Thank you, Tony. You guys, just so you know, Tony is well versed on City of LA. She has several properties within the RSO area, and she's very, very familiar and has been dealing with this for several decades. And she's very, very familiar with the ins and outs of RSO. So I hope you understand. Here, Tony says, for rent increase, I use the LA CDA, LA County payment standards as my max rate. They've increased rent rates even more. So this will make it more difficult to evict for non-payment of rent. Hopefully this link will show the new rates as of November 1st, 2022. There you go. It's about VASH payments and everything. It's everything. Thank you. How easy is it for tenants to get free legal representation? Are you sitting down, Geraldo? Because I used to laugh and make this big joke about it of, oh, tenants get free legal and they go put postcards door to door to door. Oh no, it's much worse than that. No joke. So now when you go into a courtroom and you're waiting for them to open the doors and allow everybody to come in so they can swear in and raise your right hand, there are people standing in the lobbies saying, hi, if you're a tenant being evicted, please come approach us because we can give you free legal assistance. They're allowed to do this in the courtroom lobbies. We cannot. Landlord attorneys cannot solicit business within the courthouse. They could get disbarred. But tenants attorneys can. And they stand right out there and they mention several times, please approach me for free or no cost legal assistance in your eviction trial. I'm right here. I'd be more than happy to assist you. Fill out this quick questionnaire and we'll give you free legal assistance. They're vultures. It's disgusting. Is North Hills in City of LA or County of LA? I'd have to go look it up based on the address. I have a system that tells me. So you can call Fast Evict, ask for Angie, give her the address and she can look it up for you and tell you if it's city or county, if it's governed by RSO or if it's governed by not RSO. She's good at it. Her name's Angie. Got it, David? Call Angie at Fast Evict. Number is 909-889-2000. Ask Angie, David, if she can look up an address for you to tell you if it's city, county, RSO, non-RSO. She has a way to look all that up. Okay. Angie at Fast Evict, 909-889-2000. And that's how easy it is for them to get free representation. Is it free for tenants? Yes. How do they make money? My attorney fee is capped. Are you sitting down, Geraldo? Yes, your attorney's fees are capped. You ready? Paying attention? Okay, great. We'll have Erica talk about insurance in just a minute. I also needed to see if Yomara was on here. I didn't see her. I invited her, but I didn't see her. Erica returned and said, Safeco insurance covers unlawful eviction. She will send you information later. Okay, perfect. Okay, you want to know how they make money, how those attorneys make money off of you. You're right. The attorney's fees are capped, so they can't ask for legal fees. However, oh, good, we have Yomara too. Okay, we're not getting off, you guys. We're staying on. Okay, so how they get money is simple. When the tenant signs that piece of paper saying that they can be their attorney and they don't have to pay them anything, they're also signing saying that they will give them 33 1/3% of any monies they are awarded. Paying attention? Does that make sense to you? So they file a retainer agreement. So now your tenant is fighting for $60,000 in relocation fees because Basta takes a third of the money. Now you know why they fight for so much in relos or in fees to vacate, because they get a third of it. You think your tenant gets that 60 grand? No, your tenant gets 40 grand. And then because they win, they also charge them for the legal fees out of their money. Why would I award them if they haven't paid in 3 years? I will not pay a relocation fee. Well, remember that when you get into court, because if they ask for jury trial or anything like that, just try for possession. You may find yourself waiving money just for possession. They may ask you for 90 days or 6 months before they vacate. Okay. All right. So hang on. We're going to have a quick chat from Erica's going to send me the information for Safeco. Let's have Yomara come talk to us really quickly, you guys. Yomara, unmute yourself and put on your video. This is my girl, and she's with PRC Restoration Company. And the reason that I asked her to come talk is apparently we're having a lot more problems with mold. And with the new rain coming in, I'm sure we'll have more mold issues. They just go hand in hand together. She works at a restoration company that offers you guys paying attention? Free estimates. Okay. Yes, this is who I recommend when you guys call me. Fire, flood, mold, death in a unit. They do quite a bit of it, and they have a 1-hour response time. And the reason that I push so hard for PRC is they train all of their technicians, all of their agents, even the receptionist that answers the damn phone, not to talk to your tenant. That is priceless. Okay. This is why I recommend and use them, because they don't talk to your tenant about what's going on. What they say to them is things like, I'm sorry, your landlord sent me here and I work for them. They'll be getting the full report. So I love that about PRC Restoration Company. They don't talk to your tenant. They don't give them any information. They have a 1-hour response time and free estimates. Yomara, please tell us about PRC.
Hello, Patty, and hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that amazing introduction, Patty. I appreciate you so much. And yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about our company. We not only offer mold remediation, we offer water mitigation, roof tarping. Right now, a lot of people are calling us for roof tarping. You know, it'll get you by a few weeks while you get your roof fixed. We have sewage cleanup, fire smoke damage, board ups, complimentary visual assessments, same day estimates. So if you call us, and exactly what Patty said, we cannot dispatch any of our project managers out to the property without the homeowner's approval. So we will not talk about any of the damages with the tenant. There's no way there'll be any communication with the tenant. The only communication with the tenant will be once we have that approval from either the property manager or the homeowner, is scheduling to make sure somebody's there at the property. Yes.
Priceless, you guys, priceless. The last thing you want is your mold remediation company to go out there and give a bunch of information to your tenant like, oh yeah, look at all this mold. And then I moved the sink away from the wall and look at all this mold. You don't want them doing that, okay? And PRC works really hard on training their technicians to not do that. And they also know about tenants' trickery, how they trick them into giving them info, and they don't play. They don't to them at all, which I think is high dollar value in this industry, let me tell you. Can you do me a favor, Yomara, and just put your number in the chat in case so they can jot down your info in case they need to call you for any reason?
Yes, of course.
Perfect, perfect. Oh, look, Geraldo's already doing it for you.
Oh.
Apparently, he's utilized your service.
Geraldo.
I'm sure there's quite a few people in the lobby that has utilized your services. Yes, she will do Roadrunner. Yep. She's in San Bernardino County. Okay. She's got an office in Rancho Cucamonga. She's got an office in Carson. You cover Palm Springs area, yes, Yomara? Yomara.
Oh, sorry, I had to unmute myself, Patty. But yes, I cover the San Bernardino County, LA County, Orange County. So we're from all the way from Santa Barbara down to San Diego.
There you go. She covers almost the same area I do. I go to Fresno to San Diego. And we will be teaching some classes. We have some upcoming classes coming up. So we're going to do one in Rancho and we're doing one in Carson. I think we're doing the Rancho one here pretty soon coming up. Maybe, yeah. So for those of you that are interested in going to a class in Rancho, we're going to put that together probably over the weekend and do some announcing for it on Monday and Wednesday. Okay. If you guys need anything else from Yomara, please reach out to her. She's awesome. And tell her you're with Widget's Way, because then she'll take really good care of you. So yes. All right. Does anybody have anything else that they want to talk about or go over today? Because I'm going to end this. You guys all got Yomara's number. She's awesome. You can even text her at 10:30 at night if there's a fire, a flood, a death in a unit. No joke. I'll text her. Oh, somebody's going to call you. Their name's this. Here's their phone number. They're coming at you. They got a problem. She's like, okay. So they're really good about taking care of your issues. And yes, they will go out to my people out in the Palm Desert area, Joshua Tree, that area. She's got you covered. To my Roadrunner team, she's got you covered. Free estimates and won't talk to your tenant, 1 hour response time. Hello, sign me up. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off of here. If anybody needs anything else, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you. Next week, we are going to talk about the new LA unincorporated cities debacle and what all of that entails. I'm very concerned with the rents, and I'm addressing that. Like I said, I got to depict that, rewrite it in simple English, and then ask a bunch of attorneys my questions. I see everybody saying goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Thank you, you guys. Yes, happy reading this weekend. I'm sure I'll be screaming at the pages as I'm throwing them across the room mad. All right, you guys have a great weekend. We will talk soon. If you need anything, hunt me down. Bye, everybody.